You don't have what you want yet because your manifestation is too big, or it's not because you're not worthy of it, like you may think. You're not fully embodying it or being it right now because you're not used to it. It's really because you're afraid of who you're going to be when you receive it. The version of you that it would require for you to hold your manifestation is not the same version of you that wanted it. Okay, so especially if there's a distance between where you are and your manifestation, if it seems like there has to be a jump, right? And by the way, that could happen in an instant. It's just a matter of alignment. However, your resistance is not because it doesn't feel familiar, because you could just take a moment right now, close your eyes, and fully feel what it would be like to be in that energy right now. And you could just keep practicing that. But when you feel resistance to being in that energy, that's because there is resistance, okay? That's because there's some part of you that's afraid to leave behind the old identity. Okay, so let me give you an example. Say you're calling in a relationship, and the relationship that you're calling in is a committed, faithful, kind, generous person. But you're used to being with somebody, or used to being with people that are stingy, rude, unfaithful, all the things. Well, the old version of you is used to lack and would be used to having to prove it's yourself, and, just used to a whole different kind of identity. And the identity of the new person, or the new identity that would be aligning with what you were bringing in, would be somebody that knows their worth, is comfortable with abundance, knows that she or he has options, isn't desperate, and that could be a new life for you. That could be something that you've never experienced before, and it could scare you, because who would you be? How would you belong if you didn't have to prove yourself anymore? If you didn't have to fight really hard and struggle for love? Do you see my point? So there could be a fear of not belonging anymore, and that is why you're not actually committed to the embodiment of the new identity. That actually could seem boring to you, to not have to fight really hard and to prove your love and prove that you're worthy of love, and to have arguments all the time, and all the things that would come with this old identity. Because with the new identity, you wouldn't have to do any of that. It would be more of a flow, and you would be more in a feminine energy where it would be easy. Those are two totally different identities. And since you've never had that experience before, it could be a little bit boring, because it's a little less, it's probably a lot less dramatic, right? So your lack of commitment with embodying, or you waiting for something to show up, is really just reflecting your fear and your resistance to what you say that you want. Which means that you need to address the truth here. You need to address what you're afraid of here, and be honest with yourself about what you're afraid of, and then reframe. Ask yourself, are you really ready to let go of needing to prove and beg and all the things. And that's just one example. I mean, it depends on what you're manifesting, but I'm just saying that's one example of how you could be still resisting what you're manifesting.